All right, welcome to This Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're tuning in today. We are finally putting an end to all the guesswork and diving deep into a highly requested, honestly, just fascinating topic. We're laying out a strictly scientific, totally evidence-based, and highly actionable blueprint for achieving simultaneous fat loss and muscle gain. So if you're looking for the real, peer-reviewed data on how to fundamentally remodel your physique, well, you are in exactly the right place.
You know, for decades, traditional diet advice has basically forced us to choose between two extremes. You either endure this grueling cut to lose fat and unfortunately sacrifice some of your hard-earned muscle right along with it, or you go on a massive bulk to build muscle, just kind of accepting that you're going to pack on a significant amount of fat in the process. It's incredibly frustrating, right? But the data shows us a way better route. We're talking about body recomposition. It's essentially the athletic equivalent of having your cake and eating it too.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structured roadmap for the explainer today. 1. The recomposition reality. 2. Fueling the machine. 3. The hypertrophy blueprint. 4. Supplements and lifestyle. And 5. Measuring real progress.
Starting right off with Section 1, the recomposition reality. Let's actually break down what this metabolic multitasking means at a physiological level.
By definition, body recomposition, or just recomp for short, is the process of losing body fat while actively building lean muscle tissue at the exact same time. And honestly, the absolute best part here, you do not need to be a professional athlete to pull this off. The research shows this is highly effective for skinny fat individuals who maybe feel a bit soft due to low muscle tone, returning athletes relying on muscle memory, and really just everyday fitness enthusiasts who've hit a frustrating plateau.
I absolutely love this quote from the Body Spec Guide. It says, "It's not magic, it's just multitasking for your metabolism." And that hits the nail on the head. You see, aggressive starvation diets fail because building new muscle tissue is an incredibly energy-expensive process for your body. If you slash your calories too hard, your body initiates metabolic adaptation. It literally deprioritizes expensive processes like muscle growth just so it can conserve energy. But a proper recomp? It finds that perfect physiological sweet spot, feeding your body just enough to build, but slightly less than it needs to maintain its fat stores.
Think of this whole process like a massive internal renovation. Your body's architecture is literally changing from the inside out. Get this, a pound of fat takes up roughly 18% more physical space than a pound of dense muscle. So what does this actually mean for you? It means you can weigh exactly the same on the scale, but look noticeably leaner, suddenly fit into smaller clothes, and actually burn way more calories at rest.
Moving right along to Section 2, fueling the machine. Let's talk about how we manipulate our daily energy balance to make this massive renovation happen.
Now, what's really interesting about this strategy is how precise it is. To build muscle and burn fat simultaneously, you've got to be highly strategic with your fuel, using a method called calorie cycling. It's almost like a metabolic dance. On your training days, you eat at maintenance or maybe a tiny 5% surplus, and you keep your carbohydrates high. That gives you the direct energy you need to fuel heavy lifts and recover. But on your rest days, you drop into a moderate 10 to 20% deficit and lower those carbs. This keeps your insulin levels low, which strongly encourages your body to tap straight into your stored fat for its daily energy.
But listen, throughout all this cycling, there is one absolute non-negotiable, and that is your protein intake. The target here is 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of your lean body mass. And that's lean mass, by the way, not your total body weight. Huge difference. Why does it need to be so high? Well, when you're in that calorie deficit on your rest days, your body might panic and try to break down muscle for fuel. Keeping your protein this high actively stimulates muscle protein synthesis, sending a loud and clear signal to your body to preserve and build that hard-earned lean tissue.
Okay, so we've got the fuel sorted out. Now we need the stimulus. Section 3, the hypertrophy blueprint.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where our training rules come from. It's a Prisma flowchart from a massive systematic review by Raya Gonzalez and their team. Look at this. They started with over 322 studies and meticulously distilled them all the way down to 26 gold standard trials. All of that immense effort just to find the absolute scientific truth about what actually makes your muscles grow.
So, what did they find? Here are the specific, highly actionable variables they uncovered to optimize hypertrophy. You need 3 to 5 sets per exercise.
You should be working in that 6 to 12 repetition range. You absolutely must use a full range of motion, and ideally, you're hitting each muscle group 3 days per week. But the most vital metric on this entire list is RIR, repetitions in reserve. You need to be training at an RIR of 0 to 2. This basically means you stop your set when you physically could only do 0 to 2 more reps before total muscular failure. Intensity really is everything here.
The review also pulled out 2 crucial but honestly often overlooked factors for your time in the gym. First up, rest. Taking slightly longer rest periods, we're talking 2 to 3 minutes between sets, actually facilitates higher training volumes and much greater mass increases over time. Second, you want to use an internal attentional focus. This just means actively concentrating your mind on the specific muscle that is contracting during the lift. It's that classic mind-muscle connection, and the data proves it literally increases targeted hypertrophy.
Let's move to Section 4, Supplements and Lifestyle, and see how this all builds together when we look at science-backed nutrients and those hidden lifestyle factors.
Take a look at this number, negative 1.19%. According to a 2023 meta-analysis out of the University of Liverpool, this is the specific reduction in body fat percentage observed in adults under 50 who combined creatine supplementation with resistance training. Now, it didn't decrease their absolute fat mass, but because they gained so much lean tissue, their total body fat percentage dropped significantly. So that definitively debunks the persistent myth that creatine makes you fat. No way.
Beyond creatine, the research highlights a few other proven heavy hitters. On the protein synthesis front, whey protein hydrolate and the amino acid leucine are proven to drastically increase muscle accretion. Interestingly enough, omega-3 fatty acids also play a surprising role in enhancing that synthesis. And then we have this phenomenal hack. Consuming protein right before sleep is specifically cited in the literature as a highly effective strategy to really boost your muscle mass and strength gains during prolonged training.
But here's the thing. You absolutely cannot supplement your way out of poor lifestyle habits. The scientific literature points to 2 massive wildcards here. The first is NEAT, which stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. This is all the walking, taking the stairs, even fidgeting you do outside the gym. Having a high NEAT can effortlessly burn hundreds of extra calories a day. Now compare that massive positive impact to the destructive power of poor sleep. Bad sleep elevates your cortisol levels, which actively fights against muscle growth and actually promotes fat retention. So seriously, protect your sleep at all costs.
All right, we've covered the science and the strategy. Now for the final piece, Section 5, Measuring Real Progress. Let's look at how we track this metabolic multitasking in the real world.
I want to take a quick second to address a very real, and let's face it, very frustrating psychological hurdle. You're putting in the hard work, you're eating right, you're prioritizing your sleep, but you step on the scale and it simply isn't budging. You're probably wondering, is the plan broken? Am I failing? Absolutely not. It is completely normal to feel discouraged, but you really have to look beyond that number.
So the crucial point here is, you basically need to ignore the scale. A standard bathroom scale is practically useless during a body recomposition because it literally cannot differentiate between water, muscle, and bone. Instead, watch your gym performance. Are your lifts getting heavier? Look in the mirror. Are your pants fitting a little looser around the waist? If you really want true data-driven accuracy, the absolute best route is to get a DEXA scan to see your exact lean mass versus fat mass changes over time.
Now, if you do need to troubleshoot and make adjustments along the way, the golden rule here is to wait exactly 4 weeks before changing a single thing. You've got to let the data settle. If after 4 weeks you're losing weight way too fast and feeling flat, simply add 150 calories back to your training days. If you're gaining fat or looking a bit puffy, just drop 150 calories from your rest days. And hey, if you are feeling chronically weak, you're likely either undereating or overtraining, and you need to step back and reassess your inputs entirely.
So, we've walked through the physiology, the macrocycling, the exact training variables, and the tracking methods, all derived straight from the research. The evidence is abundantly clear. You do not have to choose between losing fat and building muscle anymore. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to carry with you. Are you ready to finally stop starving the fat and start fueling the recomp? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.